I have quite recently been left in such a condition of complete sexual depletion that even Jude Law and Brad Pitt couldn't stir my advantage, quit worrying about much else considerable. Without a doubt, such is my repletion, that I dread I may always again be unable to grasp a Romeo y Julieta half-crown between my thighs. Yet, I am surging ahead. You are no uncertainty agog to realize how my significant other drove me to such a pitch of tactile satisfaction and why I am composing this wearing just a somewhat torn and unreasonably sodden, dark trim strap shrouded in dubious-looking, green stains. Everything started mundanely enough when I was popping some underwear into the tumble dryer and discussing whether to sit on top and consider England. The tumble dryer, that is, not the underpants. I am glad to state that desire prevailed upon modest unobtrusiveness, and hitching up my dark smaller than normal skirt mostly up my perfectly tanned, smooth thighs, I stopped my delightfully saucy base on the tumble dryer and trusted that a turning out to be clamminess will accumulate around my solidifying love button. No sooner had the first tremors which consistently foretell these moving encounters for me, started to swell through my thighs than I heard the recognizable tones of my better half over the satisfying murmur of Germany's best vibrating homegrown machine. "Sweetheart, are you there?" was all the more earnestly rehashed as a since quite a while ago, drawn-out groan got away from my separated lips. "Simply coming," I answered with extensively more exactness than expected. "Lamentably I didn't come or come, as you miserably verbally tested youngsters demand spelling the word which falls so regularly from your lips, yet I think isn't at all surely known, as my little story will presently uncover. In any case, I idea you weren't returning until Saturday," I shouted as my smiling lover planted a loving kiss on my improved lips. "I idea I'd shock you, dear," he answered pleasantly, and added kindly, "I was unable to endure the idea of you isolated with just that terrible American Harold Robbins to delight you." I should add at this point that Michael is a good old kind of chap, who while he has nothing against careless American mash fiction, discovers Mr. Robbins' bodice-tearing portrayals of female excitement rather bland, or as he once put it to me, "That man is clearly a couple of prophylactics shy of the full pack or he would not ceaselessly abide upon the size of his champions' chests. The chap is just not mindful of any erogenous zone other than his own, fun-sized, pardon for a todger. Be that as it may, I stray. You need to understand what we did together after Michael discovered me in the high condition of sexual excitement which he hastens entrance suddenly captured. Indeed, you will, my dears, you will. My darling had brought some scrumptious, wild smoked salmon with him which unfortunately won't be something that a large portion of you have ever eaten. All things considered, the individuals who have, realize that it will generally be a delicacy of outperforming greatness not to be contrasted and the horrendous grime my perusers scoop down their necks in, down the chippy. I consequently proposed Michael prepare a light plate of mixed greens while I opened up a container or three of an, especially light and fruity Californian Zinfandel. When we had completed the process of eating and were very much into our second container of plonk, Michael had figured out how to strip me of my shirt and bra and was constantly utilized in re-establishing his crooked tongue's long knowledge of my bosoms. So persevering was he in giving equivalent consideration to the two areolas, so as not to cause the smallest enviously, that his fingers' investigation of my pants was a to some degree hit and miss issue. Those of you who have touched a lady's areolas with your tongue while at the same time fingering her adoration button in an adequately master way to stir her vigor and poured wine with your other hand simultaneously will realize that it is so hard to give equivalent focus to every one of these undertakings while the lady has her hand around your chuckle stick. Normally, Michael fizzled, yet he flopped bravely, and we ladies like a man who gives his all chasing after the fulfillment of his cherished. Minutes after the fact we tumbled, as one does, onto the sheepskin floor covering in the parlor, that Michael had mindfully made more agreeable by the shrewd expansion of a few pads put at vital focuses fully expecting the foolish surrender into which we presently plunged. I was going to eliminate his pants when he got a handle on my wrist and advised me to close my eyes. Loyal as I am in everything intimate, observe. You freed young ladies, I quickly leaned back on the pads and enthusiastically anticipated improvements in the desire for something very surprising. I didn't have long to pause, nor was I baffled. The main sensation was something round, hard, yet plush, being delicately squeezed between my separated thighs. I came down to contact the puzzling interloper just to have my hand authoritatively slapped away. Gradually the article, which I currently saw was a little ball, was pushed under my inexorably wet pants. One before long followed it and another. The most incredibly stunning sensations overflowed through me as my sweetheart's adroit tongue continued to incite the puzzling spheroids to initiate a languorous dance around the engorged access to my adoration burrow. I detected, as opposed to felt his teeth chomp into delicate tissue. Chill juice ran off my thighs and a fiery, fragrant smell destroyed my trembling nostrils. This was trailed by the first of many breaking climaxes, as what I presently acknowledged was some little, fragrant natural product, was squashed against my erect clitoris. I was shuddering in each appendage and had everything except fainted away when the odoriferous organic product was abruptly moved to my alarmed lips. Its sugary alcohol was blended with the sweet wine of my own bounteous love juices and I licked my lips in appreciative rapture. Wow! I discharged, a play on words completely planned, it's a green gauge. Any further conversation was smothered as a greater amount of the ambrosial organic products were tenderly moved to my shuddering lips, hot from their tricky visit between my trembling thighs. For those of you who have never tasted an English greengage straight from the tree in your own nursery, let me endeavor to portray the experience to you. The organic product is round and about 1.25 inches in distance across. When completely ready, it is a brilliant, straightforward green flushed with pink and purple features. The skin takes after nothing, even a delightful lady's base, smooth, and superbly delicate and providing for the touch. Pass the organic product before your nose and you are without a moment's delay remunerated with the most brilliant aroma, fragrant of drowsy mid-year days, potent like a peach, fiery like a newly cut apple, yet more perplexing than either and overlaid with all the richness of the best attar of rose. On the off chance that Chanel could blend such a fragrance, ladies would execute for it. And afterward, you carefully take it between your delicately separated lips and nibble into the tissue. Okay. The pleasantness is amazing. So seriously sugary it nearly consumes your mouth with its pleasantness, yet like every one of nature's organic products, never debilitated in the way that man-made desserts are. In any case, pause, there is another shock. For as the tissue softens in your mouth and the tacky juices thrill your tongue, you experience a heavenly sharpness, a tang of apple-like freshness as you bite the skin and gradually unstick the leftover substance from the little stone inside. Obviously, at this point, I was on my third or fourth climax, and anxiously opened my legs to concede the creator of my joy into my trickling safe haven. I will, obviously, draw a watchful cover over what happened from that point, yet at the very least Michael was as creative and boundless in his investigation of my affection burrow as he had been in his perfectly unique foreplay. I will no uncertainty keep on sparkling for some extensive time and I don't figure I will need to sit on the tumble dryer or in the jacuzzi until we have run out of greengages, which Michael guarantees me will last out the week in any event, considering mine over-the-top requests. Neither will I take these pants off. Truth be told, I figure I will wrap them up with a few greengages and post them to one of your unoriginal youthful chaps. Of course, OK realize how to deal with them. I leave all of you to contemplate that while I rest from my works.